This day, I want to explain how and why we travel to other planets. I've been traveling with Jesus for more than 20 years. Usually, I've been putting it on my website, dianemarieTaylor.com. I've been writing it, and only recently I've decided to invite everyone else to come with us, perhaps through a video. So, you might wonder why Jesus is taking us to other planets. And I think there's a number of reasons. He does not tell us what his reasons are. He's like a teacher. He wants us to think for himself. And there might be places we go we'd never understand why we went there. And sometimes I think he likes to show off his universe. And I think this is how we travel. I think of the universe as God's dream, and we were made in God's image. And this means that we can share his dream with him. And this is the way I think of it, and we can share it to the extent that we can use it. So we are invited to walk in his dream wherever Jesus takes us. And this day, I'm not sure where we're going to go. He said we were going to go visit today. Other people are showing up. There's usually two or three that begin the travel with us. And I've got to go up. I'm going to go up the sky tunnel. I always do that. Jesus doesn't need to. If he wants to step off from Earth to some planet, he could do so. But I need the sky tunnel. I need to actually think I can feel the treeness of the tunnel as I walk through it or walk up it. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to step into the sky tunnel. The other people that are coming with us, three people right today, and they do the same. I think they need to orientate themselves like I do. So we're going to walk up the tree, and I'm going to put my hand on the mahogany side. It's so beautiful. And it's like, it feels alive. It doesn't feel like the outside of a tree. This feels like the veins of the tree, like the pulse, like the heart of the tree. I think of it as the treeness of the earth is allowing us to use it to travel from Earth to another planet. Now, other planets, people on other planets have different types of sky tunnels. One planet we visited a number of years ago, they had a rainbow that they used to walk into the sky. But for us, we honor our trees, and this is what we use. We have the treeness of Earth. And so we're walking and following Jesus through the sky tunnel, and we get to the top, and it's up to Jesus where we're going to go. He's asked a number of us where we'd like to go, and the choices are so many that I just can't make a choice. I mean, you got to think there's billions of stars out there, billions, even in just the Milky Way, and I cannot make a decision of where to go. Once in a while I'd wanted to go back to revisit a place, but mostly I prefer to leave it to Jesus. So I'm going to close my eyes. I'm sitting outside my backyard listening to a few crickets and a few little noises from the neighborhood, enjoying the beautiful weather, and I'm going to step with Jesus to a new planet. And he smiles. He says, "Come on." So we gather and we follow him to the planet. And what do I see first? I see purple mountains. Oh, they're nice. We're actually very close to them. And then we stand on grass at the bottom of the mountains, flowers in the grass. It's like the rock face is very close to us. With one step, we could be right at a rock face on the mountain, and it's purple. It's really a deep purple. and we're going up this mountain. We're walking upstairs on the side of the mountain, and there's an opening, and we're going into the side of the mountain. So we're stepping inside, and it's like tunnels. It's like a long hallway carved out of rock. It's still purple, so it's kind of dark in here. It's obviously been carved by humans or by some beings. So and we just keep walking, and I'm hearing noises. I'm not sure what the noises are. It sounds like clanging and some little bit of, I'm not sure, soft music maybe. And so we kept walking, and then suddenly the hallway or whatever it is, it opens up, and we're looking down into a vast chamber. And in that chamber are machines, huge machines, and there's people walking around them. The people look like small ants from the height that we're looking down at them. One of the machines is it's like a light green, and it's metal. It's totally metal. It's like something on Earth that would run a turbine or something of that nature. I have no idea what it is. Anyhow, there's people walking around the machines. There's other people doing other things. But I think we're going to go down there. I think that's what Jesus' intent is. So we keep walking. There's a railing here. It's made out of metal. It's like a steel railing. So we're walking along the railing, and then we come to some steps, and we go down the steps. It's a long way down. On the way, I see that there's other sort of side caverns, like huge holes in the rock that have been carved out. And we don't go into them, though. I think Jesus' intent is to go down to the floor of the mountain, or this huge cavern. And we step onto the floor finally, and the people are human. They're very human. They might be human, they might not. I look at Jesus and I kind of shrug. Are they human? And he says yes. These are people from Earth. For all I know, we could be on Earth, but they're working on these machines, and we're walking around. They're not seeing us. We're invisible to them, which that suits me. I'm not sure what I'd say to them. And we keep walking, and there's different shapes of machines, of course. I don't know what the machines are doing. There's small machines too, and there's big ones. I don't see any computers really. I don't see any buttons or computers. One person's got his hand there, and he's putting a slide up, like a part of the machine. He's pushing it up, and that's all I understand. It's like a big. There's one of the machines is huge and round. I'm standing here by the machine, and I'd say it's 5 times my size. I mean, it really is a giant machine. And so we keep walking and watching the people. We go into there's a room off the cavern. We go into that. That's also like carved out of rock. And here we find a lot of people gathered at tables. These people must be human. They're very, they're likely from Earth. They're sitting at tables, and some people are eating something, and one person seems to be reading, but he's reading the table. I don't understand that. It's like the table has, right inside the table is what he's reading. And so that seems strange to me. And Jesus smiles at me, and the other people walked up to a plant in this room, beautiful little tree. He touched it and he nodded. It's real. This is a real plant, and the, there's lights. There's lights on the ceiling and on the walls, long lights. So I would think that this is either we're on Earth or we're on a planet where humans have came to inhabit. And Jesus nodded, but I'm not sure what he's nodding at. I think it is humans. And then we there's a small room off of that. There's no doors on these rooms. We just go from one cavern to another, and this other small cavern has lots of plants, and then it opens up into a huge cavern filled with plants. It's like they're growing out of water tanks. Well, we can do that on Earth. We've learned to do that. So I think my idea that these are humans, and are they on Earth? And Jesus is nodding. Okay, so we are on Earth. We're at a different time. And what's happening, I would imagine, I get the impression that they're doing something to protect themselves, humanity, from bad weather or something, or the rising sea or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but it's like a hydroponics farm, and it's really huge. It goes for a long distance. You can see green things growing. Some tall. It's almost like going into uh, a very wet atmosphere. It's very wet. Water is dripping from some of the plant leaves. This tall tree, I mean, it's like it really reaches high, much higher than I am. It's really a tree, and sort of a palm tree. Reminds me of when I went to the conservatory on Belle Isle, and it's like something like that. Very humid, very a lot of things growing. Although a lot of things are growing in water here rather than soil. So I think it's a survival tactic. I think we've stepped into a future that we really don't want to know about, but it's there. And I think I'm getting tired. I think it's time for me to let me pause for a minute. I had to pause. I actually left the group, and I'm back on my swing, and I'm just sitting here talking into this recorder. I just suddenly left. I'm sure they don't mind. They're probably still walking and exploring the cave system, but I'm almost sure that was Earth in the future after we've did something to the weather and the ocean. I know that when we went up the mountain, it was quite a ways, so I would think perhaps we were moving life up so that the ocean wouldn't come in and drown us. Anyhow, I have to say goodbye now, and hopefully you enjoyed yourself and feel like you came with us on this trip. All right, goodbye.